She walked away from him and discovered the desire she deserved. The flashbulbs blind me before the voices hit. 1,000 names slice through the night air, mine tangled somewhere between the chaos. Aria, over here. Smile for us. I smile. Slow, lethal. A curve of crimson lips painted to perfection. The cameras keep screaming, their metallic mouths clicking, flashing like lightning trapped in a cage. Every pop echoes against the walls of the theater, ricochets through the cold marble beneath my stilettos. The sound becomes rhythm, becomes music, and I move to it. One step. Another. The silk of my gown whispers across the carpet, liquid silver, hugging every line of me. It catches the light in shards of brilliance, a living mirror sculpted for one purpose, to remind the world who I am, or maybe who I've become. I feel their eyes devour me, the stylists, the reporters, the fans crushed. Against velvet ropes, they drink me in like champagne, greedy and breathless. It should feel intoxicating. It does a little, but not enough to drown out the awareness that he's here, Ethan Vale. Director, visionary, my husband, or the man who once was. I don't have to look to know where he stands. I feel him the way you feel a storm pressing against your skin before the clouds break. Heavy. Electric. And then I do look. Across the crimson sea, under a chandelier that throws molten gold across his dark hair, there he is. Impossibly polished. In his black tuxedo, every line of him tailored to power. He laughs at something. Of course he does. That low, velvety sound that used to curl through my bones and make me forget the entire world. But he's not laughing alone. She's beside him, the ingénue, the one with lips like rose petals and ambition glinting in her eyes. The rising star whose name is now inked beside his in every headline. Ethan Vale trades wife for new muse. They made a spectacle out of us, out of me. But I didn't break, the way they thought I would. I wonder if she knows what it costs to love him. To worship brilliance so bright it blinds you until you can't tell where you end, and he begins. I wonder if she knows she's drinking poison from a crystal glass, sweet and sparkling until it burns her hollow. They're saying something to each other. She laughs, tips her face up like he hung the stars just for her. And for a second, just a second, my chest tightens. Not because I want him. God, no, but because I remember the girl who once believed he could never want anyone else. Aria, give us a spin, someone shouts from the left. And I do. Slowly letting the gown flare around me like molten light. The cameras erupt, and I let their frenzy drape over me like worship. When I turn back, my eyes find his. Of course they do. He's looking at me now. No, he's drinking me in. That storm gray stare locks on mine across the chaos, and suddenly the noise falls away. The cameras fade. The world narrows to a single heartbeat. His or mine, I can't tell. In his eyes, I see it. The ghost of what we were. The kitchen floor. At midnight, me in his shirt, flour streaking his jawline as we laughed over burnt pancakes. The promises whispered in the dark when the city slept, and we believed we could outrun gravity. For a breath, I almost falter. Almost. Then I remember the headlines, the whispers, the way his hand rested on her waist like it belonged there. I let my smile sharpen, cut glass and merciless, lift my chin like the crown I built with my own hands, and I keep moving, past the cameras, past the velvet ropes, past him, until Aria. My name low and rough, barely audible above the noise. But I hear it. God. I hear it, and it splinters through me like a note struck too hard on a piano, vibrating down to the marrow. I stop, just for a fraction of a second, the tiniest crack in my perfect armor. Then I turn, slow as sin. He's closer than I expected. Not close enough to touch, but close enough for the air to thicken, for the scent of him, smoke, sandalwood, memory, to coil through me like silk. Director Vale. My voice is cool, honeyed ice. Congratulations on the nomination. A flicker crosses his face. Barely there. Something raw, almost human, before it's gone. Aria. But I'm already walking away, the echo of my heels striking like applause. Leaving him with his ingenue and his hollow kingdom, because I am not the woman who stayed. I am the woman who walked away. And tonight, the world finally knows it. The theater swallows me whole. Velvet walls, golden light, the hush of history pressing from every carved pillar. Outside, chaos reigns. In here, the world breathes slower, softer. My heels click against the marble as I slip down the private corridor toward the green room. My pulse hums, steady but insistent like the opening bars of a symphony about to break loose. You did it, Aria. You walked past him. You didn't crumble. Not even when he said your name like it still belonged to him. The thought tastes sweet, almost decadent, but it curdles too fast, because I feel it. That prickle at the nape of my neck like eyes burning into my spine. I don't turn. I just keep walking. Through the muted glow, past the framed portraits of legends who once stood where I'm standing now. My fingers skim the edge of my gown as if touch alone could anchor me. The door to the green room clicks shut behind me, sealing me in a hush thick enough to drink. The walls gleam with satin, the air perfumed with lilies and champagne. I exhale, slowly, lowering onto the velvet chaise, pressing cold fingertips to warmer lips. I shouldn't care, I don't care. Except the moment I let myself breathe, his voice cuts through the quiet. You've gotten better at leaving a room before I can stop you. My spine locks. I don't have to look to know he's leaning in the doorway. I can feel him, heat in a space that was cool a second ago. I turn, slowly. And there he is. Ethan Vale. Up close now. And too much. Always too much. His tuxedo jacket undone like he's shedding formality one button at a time. His tie loose, framing the sharp line of his throat I once traced with my mouth. The years haven't touched him, only carved him deeper, cheekbones like sculpture, jaw shadowed in dark stubble. You shouldn't be here, I say, my voice flat, perfect ice. And yet. He pushes off the doorframe and steps inside, closing the door behind him with a soft click that sounds like a secret. I stand before he reaches me because sitting feels too much like surrender. Don't do this, Ethan. He stops a breath away, close enough that the air tilts, close enough that the scent of him, smoke, cedar, memory, threads through me like silk and barbed wire. Do what? His voice is low, edged with something dangerous. Pretend I don't see what you're doing? I laugh, soft and sharp, the kind that slices through tension instead of breaking it. What I'm doing? Oh, darling, I'm just living. You should try it sometime. His jaw tightens. You turned my betrayal into a damn performance. Your betrayal? I arch a brow. Sweetheart, you wrote the script. I just improvised the ending. He steps closer. One more inch, and the hem of my gown will brush his shoes. The heat rolls off him in waves, his storm gray gaze locking on mine with a force that makes breathing feel optional. I made you, he says softly. And for a moment, For a single heartbeat, the old Aria trembles inside me. The girl who believed that. The girl who wrapped her dreams around his spine like ivy and called it love. But she's gone. No. I tilt my chin up. Let the light catch on every diamond dripping from my ears. You broke me. I made me. Something flashes in his eyes then. Not anger, not pride. Something raw. Something he tries to cage but can't. His hand lifts, hesitates, before his fingertips graze a loose strand of my hair. The touch is light, almost reverent. It burns like a confession. You think I wanted her? His voice is a whisper now, rough with truth. God, Aria, I wanted you. Always you. For a second, the world stops spinning. My breath stalls in my throat, caught between disbelief and something far more dangerous. Then why? The words escape before I can stop them, soft and aching, like a bruise pressed too hard. His eyes darken, storm clouds swallowing the gray. Because I'm a coward. Because you deserved a sky and I gave you a ceiling. Because you were too much and not enough all at once, and I didn't know how to love you without burning down the world. The silence after that is a living thing, heavy, breathless. My pulse thunders, a drumbeat I can't control. And then, the door bursts open. Her laughter spills in like acid honey. The ingenue, draped in scarlet silk, champagne in hand, oblivious to the way tension coils through the room like smoke before a fire. Oh, sorry, am I interrupting? She chirps. Ethan's jaw flexes. Mine curves into a smile so sharp it could kill. Yes, I say sweetly. But that's what you're best at, isn't it? Her smile falters just for a heartbeat. I drink it in like wine. Enjoy the party, I purr, brushing past her without a backward glance. And as I leave, I feel Ethan's gaze burning between my shoulder blades. Heavy, wanting, regret carved deep into every line of him. But I don't look back. The city glows like a spilled jewelry box beneath me. Diamonds of headlights, sapphires of glass towers, rubies from taillights threading through the night. From up here, everything looks small, manageable, beautiful in its distance. I grip the edge of the rooftop terrace, the wind teasing the silk of my gown, wrapping it around my legs like a lover's hand. The music from the after-party drifts faint and hollow, a ghost of champagne laughter and clinking glasses. I needed air, space, silence. Except silence never comes when you've spent years learning to read storms before they break. Running away again, Aria? The voice. Low. Velvet scraped raw. I close my eyes for half a breath before turning. Slowly, Ethan steps into the spill of moonlight, and for a moment, I forget how to breathe. Black tuxedo. Tie gone. Shirt collar open, framing that throat, that pulse. Wind catches his hair, musses it like I used to, and I hate that my fingers twitch with memory. You really should stop following me, I murmur, lifting the champagne flute to my lips. The bubbles bite like tiny knives on my tongue. He doesn't smile, doesn't move, just watches me like he's cataloging every flicker of expression, every rise and fall of breath. Why did you come tonight? His voice is quiet but laced with something sharp. To rub it in my face to show me what I lost? I laugh softly, the sound curling like smoke into the cold night air. Sweetheart, you didn't lose me. You threw me away. His jaw tightens. He steps closer, shoes silent against the stone. I should move. I don't. Don't do that, he says. Do what? Pretend you don't feel this. His words hit like a match to gasoline, igniting something I swore I buried. The wind lifts a strand of my hair across my cheek, and before I can stop, his hand is there, tucking it behind my ear with a tenderness that slices me open. Ethan. My voice fractures on his name. I hate that it does. I don't care about her, he says, and God, his eyes, storm gray and raw, are so close now I can see the tiny flecks of silver that catch the city lights. Not the way I cared about you, not the way I... Stop. The word rips from me, jagged, desperate. My throat burns like I've swallowed glass. He does, but only because he's searching my face, reading the tremor in my lips, the fury, tangled with something far worse, longing. And then I whisper the question that's been rotting in my chest for years. Why? The wind steals the word, but he hears it. He always hears me. Because I was afraid, he says, voice breaking on the last word like it's been caged for too long. Because you loved me so completely it terrified me. Because I knew if I broke, you'd shatter. And I didn't know how to be what you needed without destroying us both. The confession hangs between us, fragile as spun glass. And I hate him for it. Hate him for saying the things I once prayed to hear. Hate him for making my heart stumble when I swore it learned how to run without him. You destroyed us anyway, I whisper. I know. His hand finds mine then, not gripping, just there. Warm. Real. The pulse of him throbbing against my skin. It feels like stepping off a ledge, like drowning and breathing all at once. Aria. His voice is low, wrecked, and then he's leaning in, slow, deliberate, as if giving me every chance to stop him. His breath brushes my cheek, my jaw, my mouth. My lashes lower, traitorous, as if they've been waiting for this moment since the day I walked away. And God help me, I almost let him. Almost. But the universe, cruel thing that it is, intervenes. My phone rings. Loud. Shattering. I jerk back like the sound burned me, champagne sloshing over my wrist. His eyes snap open, dark with something too dangerous to name. Don't! I choke out, backing up a step, clutching the phone like a lifeline. My agent's name blazes across the screen. Aria, where are you? She gushes when I answer. You're not going to believe this, you got the part. The lead. The Leila Marquez biopic. You start shooting in 6 weeks, baby. You're about to be a star. The world tilts. My lungs forget how to work. Aria, she prompts, laughing. You still there? I'm here, I whisper, eyes locked, on Ethan. His expression shifts when he sees it. Realization crashing through him like thunder. This is the moment. The door I've been waiting for. The sky I once thought I'd never touch. Congratulations, he says softly, but his voice is laced with something jagged, something breaking. And then, before I can answer, he turns and walks back inside, leaving me with a heart that feels like glass underfoot. And the stars. God, the stars. So close I could almost taste them. 6 months later, the set hums with quiet chaos, camera rigs glinting under harsh white lights, assistants darting like bees, makeup brushes whispering against skin. My name is everywhere now. On call sheets, on posters, on the lips of strangers, who say it like a prayer. Aria Vale, leading lady. Except Vale isn't mine anymore. Aria, we're ready for you in 5, the director calls, his voice slicing through the haze of hairspray and muted chatter. I nod, eyes fixed on the mirror. The woman staring back is a stranger in some ways. Sleek, polished, carved from confidence and silk. I built her from the ashes of the girl who once begged a man to love her, and then the door opens. The air changes before I even see him. My pulse falters, then spikes. Everything good in here? The voice, familiar, rough-edged, sin wrapped in silk, rolls through the room like smoke. I turn, and there he is. Ethan Vale. He's in black again, but not tuxedo black. Tailored slacks, crisp shirt open at the collar, sleeves rolled to forearms, that have no right to look that good. He wears power like second skin, like he never lost it. Except the moment his eyes find mine, the armor cracks. Ethan. My voice is steady. It shouldn't be. Aria. He says my name like it's both confession and curse. I should walk past him, should glide out with that perfect grace I've mastered, but I stand rooted because the question coils through me like venom. What is he doing here? The answer comes with the next words out of his mouth. As of this morning, I'm officially on the project, executive producer. The room tilts, my fingers curl into the silk of my robe to keep from shaking. My voice breaks, then hardens. You did this on purpose. I did this because it's the best damn film of the year, he says softly, stepping closer. And because I wanted to see you. The truth slices through me, sharp and brutal. You have no right. No, right? His laugh is quiet, bitter. You think I didn't watch you take what we built and turn it into a weapon? God, Aria. I've been drowning in you every damn day. His words hit like a blow, stealing breath I can't afford to lose. I turn away, pacing to the vanity, gripping its edge until my knuckles bleach white. You don't get to do this, I whisper. Do what? His reflection appears behind mine, towering, dark, consuming. Remind you what we were? I squeeze my eyes shut. But memory floods in anyway. The taste of his mouth, the weight of his hands, the nights we burned so bright we could have lit cities. Stop, I choke out. No. His voice drops to a rasp and then he's moving, closing the last inches between us until his chest brushes my back, heat radiating through silk. Tell me to leave, Aria. Tell me, and I swear I'll walk. The words perch on my tongue. Leave. Just one syllable, but I can't, because the moment his breath ghosts over my ear, my body betrays me. Leaning back, just an inch, but enough. Enough for his hand to slide to the curve of my hip, tentative, trembling like a man on the edge of ruin. Ethan. My whisper cracks open something feral in his gaze when I meet it in the mirror, and then the dam breaks. He spins me gently, pressing me against the vanity, his hands framing my face like I'm something sacred. His mouth hovers a breath from mine, and God, it feels like gravity finally pulling after years of freefall. I never stopped loving you, he says, the words raw, ripped from somewhere deep. Not for a second. My eyes sting. My pulse is a war drum. Every instinct screams to run, but my heart arches toward him like a flower to sun. His lips brush mine. Once, barely there. A question, a plea. And I answer. The kiss explodes. Between us, wild and aching. Salt of tears mingling with the heat of want we buried alive. My fingers knot in his shirt, pulling, needing, hating that I need. It's everything and nothing all at once, too much and not enough. When I tear away, I'm shaking, breathing like I ran through fire. This changes nothing, I whisper, even as my lips tremble from the ghost of his. He searches my face, jaw tight, eyes dark with something almost broken. It changes everything, he says, and then the door bangs open. Aria! On set! Someone calls, oblivious to the wreckage pulsing through the room. I rip free, stumbling toward the light, leaving him standing in the shadows with a truth we can't undo. But I feel it as I walk away. His eyes on me. His heartbeat tangled with mine. The certainty that we just set the world on fire. And it's only a matter of time before it burns us both to ash. The theater is a cathedral of light and sound. Crystal chandeliers spill gold over velvet seats. Cameras hum like bees. and somewhere beneath the noise, 1,000 hearts are drumming in sync with mine. I stand backstage, shoulders back, chin high. The gown clings to me like armor, silver silk kissed by every spotlight in the room. My pulse hums, steady now, unlike the wild thrum of the first time I walked these halls. This time, I own it. The envelope trembles in my hand. The letters inside could change everything. Best Actress, I inhale. The scent of roses, champagne, and polished wood fills the air, the kind of aroma that marks history and triumph at once. Arya, it's your cue, a voice whispers. I nod, letting the velvet curtain brush against my thighs as I step into the blaze of light. Cameras explode and flash, reporters' voices blur into a roar, and then I see him, Ethan Vale. Not at the center, not in the spotlight. Just there, in the shadows, perfect in tailored black, watching. Not a word, not a hand lifted. Just eyes, storm gray and impossibly sharp, drinking in what I've become. I don't falter. I walk to the podium, heels clicking like verdicts. The noise swells, then fades into a hush as the envelope slides open in my hand. Best Actress goes to... I pause. Let the tension bloom. The world leans forward. Arya Vale. Gasps. Applause. My name reverberates through the hall like a bell striking midnight. My chest tightens and I swallow the rush of tears threatening to break free. I lift the award, weight solid in my hands. A symbol not of revenge, not of validation from him, but of everything I built alone. I step closer to the microphone, fingers trembling only slightly. The golden light wraps me like a halo and the world waits for the story it thinks it wants. I take a breath. This award, I begin, voice steady, deliberate, isn't for anyone who tried to hold me back. It's not for the men, or the women, who thought they could define my worth or my power or my love. It's for me. For every moment I chose myself when it was easier to surrender. For every time I walked away rather than stay in a cage made of promises and betrayal. The applause rises again, louder, richer. I glance to the side and see Ethan's face, unreadable in the shadows. I don't flinch. I didn't thank him, I continue, my words curling through the hall like silk over steel. I thanked the only person who deserved it, me. I walked away. I chose myself. And that choice led me here. A hush falls again. Then the world erupts into cheers, claps, whistles, cameras flash like storms, and I breathe it all in, letting it wash over me like a tide that's been waiting years to rise. I turn the award in my hands, catch the reflection of the golden chandeliers on its surface, and for the first time I feel it. Peace, triumph, desire fulfilled, not through a man, not through revenge, but through the raw, unstoppable force of who I've become. Ethan still watches. From the shadows, silent, regret carved into his jawline. But this is no longer my storm to weather. He had his chance. He lost it. I lift the award one last time, a slow, deliberate gesture. Not for him, not for anyone but myself. The flashbulbs explode. The crowd roars. And in the glittering aftermath I feel a rush of something eternal. Victory, yes, but also freedom. The world will remember Arya Vale tonight, not as a wife betrayed, not as a starlet who cried in the dark, not as a woman who begged for love she couldn't have. They will remember a woman who walked away, and won. And as the curtain rises, cameras spinning, applause crashing over me, I whisper into the quiet heartbeat of my own triumph. Thank you. to me. Because for the first time in my life, I needed no one else to claim my power, my passion, or my destiny. I had it all, and I walked away with it, graceful, unbroken,